We are on Wednesday, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. I'm just going to do my makeup and then I'm just going to have a bit of a chit chat with you. Why do bad things happen? So the fact that you've identified that something's bad is brilliant, because now you know that something good happens. Everybody's expecting to have a life full of perfectness. Like, there's no sickness, there's no nothing, there's no evil. Everybody's expecting a life full of like no evil or anything like that. That place is called heaven. In order to be in a place full of no evil, you also have to be a person that is not evil and isn't going to do evil things. Everybody just expects that God will just come down. God isn't a genie. He gives people free will. Free will basically means you can make your own choices, but there's some things that can be avoided. Not all things. The majority of things can be avoided because God only allows, because like how we have laws on the earth, there is also laws in heaven. Let me put my Apple Watch on charge. People are expecting like heaven expectations on earth. We are being heavenly people. People can't know what they don't know. Some like religions, like every religion gets absolutely battered. Every religion does. Like, there's comments that get said about Christianity, there's comments that get said about Islam, comments that get said about Buddhists. No one's perfect. There's only one person who was perfect, and that was Jesus Christ himself. I know a lot of people say Christianity is the only one that's persecuted. Christianity only gets really like badly like persecuted because we're taught to forgive. We're taught to like turn the other cheek. That's the only reason why, because people don't see the consequences in it. We're taught to turn the other cheeks, because if we do bite back, then we're going against his commandments. So it's what like I don't understand is people blame God. It's recognised as something bad, there's also got to be something good. It's God always gets the blame for things that are bad because he's allowed it. But the whole point of the reason why things do happen and he does allow stuff like that is because, one, we have the courts of heaven, and there has been a law laid down that Satan can torment us as much as what they want. But I mean, if you haven't given your life to Christ, you don't know how to go about it, if that makes sense. Look at me wafting my little brush about. It is hard. Life is hard, but life isn't supposed to be always like perfect. And the more we like pussyfoot around people's feelings, the more I've seen that like people just don't grow up. Anything bad happens to a child, I feel like it's the worst feeling that anybody could ever feel. I would look at a situation that's happening to me and just think, you know what, at least it isn't happening like that. At least I have got my child. At least I'm not the one that's burying my child. Do you know what I mean? So why does God seem hidden? God doesn't seem hidden. He shows himself to people that he knows will... I don't know why he shows himself to certain people. I don't think I'm qualified to talk about that. God doesn't seem hidden to me. I could pray and I could hear him. God's not going to put himself in a situation where if you don't want him, he's not going to come to you. Simple as. You're not going to go to someone who don't want you. And I think some people don't realise how much God does intervene with a life and does stop them from certain things. Even still then, even people that don't believe in him and don't want anything to do with him, he will still intervene and make sure that person's safe. I've heard that one as well, like, why would God send people to hell? If he loves them? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what God wants, it's about what we want as his children. He loves us and he wants... not that he wants the best, well, he does want the best for us, but there's only so much. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's the best way for me to describe it. And it's the same with God. God will give you everything that you want. You've got the Bible, you've got pastors, you've got people that can help you, but he can't make you do the work. It's down to you to make that decision. He's not hidden. He doesn't keep himself away from people that want to know him. He will show, because where we have to trust people, he also has to trust us as well. And if we don't trust ourselves, he's not going to trust us. So the thing is with God, it's just like having a human relationship, but only better. The only thing is there's more grace with God. There's a lot more grace, there's a lot more mercy. He's not going to cut you off. He's not going to like leave you. People have got expectations for God. You're not doing what he expects you to do. But we do live in a fallen world, so you are going to do these things. But you can have the help of God if you want it. Why is hell necessary? It's a place where God's not present, so if you don't want God, then that is the place that you've asked for. That is it. That is basically what hell is. Hell is a place where God is not present. So if you go throughout your life rejecting God, then you are going to end up in hell, because God sees it as, well, you don't want me, so you can go to a place where I'm not present, and rightly so. So it's not a case of he's sending you to hell to punish you. He's sending you to hell because it's a place where God doesn't exist, and that's what you've asked for. Is Jesus the only way? Yes, correct. Jesus is the only way. And I think when you do your research and you see people's testimonies, that's what brings you on a little bit more and gets you wanting to know more. Well, it did me anyway. What about sex? So what are the boundaries regarding premarital sex, masturbation and pornography? Oh gosh, I really don't want to talk about this, but I've read it now, so I will talk about it. So for me, premarital sex, I can definitely see why. We are not designed to be separated in broken homes. We are not designed to be like that. Whatever is evil, God can make good. So always have faith. And he did in my situation. Like, I love my daughter. I'd never regret. If I turn back time, I'd have her all over again. I do believe that with premarital sex, it can be very destructive, and it's not only that, but you are going off lust, and you are going off if you're attracted to the person. Like, I think it's important to be attracted to the person if you're gonna marry them, like 100%. Like, but I do think that sometimes the devil can entice you with things that look good on the outside when really they're not meant for you at all. And who knows, you might be for Jesus, you might not be, you don't know. Why does it matter whether or not Jesus was resurrected? Because the whole point of Jesus resurrecting is proving that he's God. So people saying that he was never resurrected, then please go find me his body, because nobody's found it. 2,000 years later, nobody's found it. I think you just need to do your research. I think you need to, if you are wanting to delve into that, it is so, like, you hear so many people's testimonies who have had a visit from Jesus in like a dream or a vision. By all means, you're entitled to have your opinion. Oh, well, those people could have been on drugs, those people, like, but if we're going to make excuses for every single person that has had a testimony, I mean, you're looking at how many testimonies of people got of Jesus. Like, come on. Like, not everybody's been on drugs, and those people that are on drugs, don't see them. You can't. It's impossible, because certain drugs, fair enough, they make you hallucinate, but they don't. Drugs are from the demonic, so drugs are going to keep you away from God. Where does your imagination come from if God doesn't exist? Why do we have emotions? Can you be gay and still be a Christian? I think you can be gay and be Christian, because I'm a single mum, and I had a child before marriage, and I'm a Christian. But you have got to get it into your head that at some point you are gonna have to give that up, and eventually you'll want to give it up as well. Everybody's just looking for someone to blame. Heavenly expectations without being heavenly people. I do get it though. I do get, because obviously it weren't down to us, but it's down to us to bring heaven to earth. I think the quicker that you learn that we're in a fallen world, the better, and it takes away that shame, because I don't feel like you need to be feeling shame for the sins that you've committed, and God will take away your shame as well if you give it to him. Because at the end of the day, we do live in a fallen world, and it isn't necessarily, not that it's not our fault, it isn't our fault, but it's about, someone can have a alcoholic dad, but it's down to that person to see what they will do with their life to change that from happening again. You know, so it's alright, everybody's sitting there saying, oh, well, we'll just sin because at the end of the day, it wasn't our fault, so we're entitled to sin. We live in a fallen world. It's not like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it's what you do with it is what you will be judged on. We are living in a world where we're going to sin, we're going to carry on sinning, but when you know God, you stop to sin as much. And the whole shame aspect of things just goes, because the devil wants you to feel shame for what you've done, whereas God just wants it. I'll take it away, it's fine. You've said sorry, I believe you in your heart, I understand, because he knows it's not our fault either. But it's about what you do with your life and how much you give to him. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, by all means, I will be making a lot more videos like this, just talking about God, Jesus, the spiritual realm, and whatnot. So yeah, thanks for watching.